Hey everybody, welcome to HCH Coloring. My name is Heidi and I'm back today with another big stack of books for you guys, pages to show you, and I'm just gonna skip the chit chat and get right into it. So the first book that we have is Celtic Spirit by Cleopatra Motzel, and I did this page, and I guess I should say these pages are from February and March of 2024. Okay, so I did this page with Crayola Super Tips, and then I just used some paint pens to do little dots on all around on the whatever you call those things, the twiny things. I didn't use any pencil on this, but I think it looks good. I like it. I could have, gone all in and done a lot of shading on the, where the lines crossed and everything, but I just didn't really feel like it. But I feel like these little dots kind of makes it look polished and nice. So yeah, happy with that one. And the next book is in Ruth Heller's Designs for Coloring, More Geometrics. And these books, I got 3 or 4 of these by Ruth Heller on eBay. And they were uncolored, but they're very old. They're from, first publication was 1976, and this printing is 1991, it looks like. So, yeah, pretty old. But they're very cool. They're, geometric designs, kind of like this. Yeah. So I did a page in here, which I am not crazy about. This one, I did this one with Papermate Flares, and I didn't really test my color palette first. I just kind of went in with some pens and colored it. And yeah, it looks very retro, kind of, I don't know, just not really fond of it. And I used some gold metallic on the border there. But yeah, it's okay, I guess, but I'm just not crazy about it. So that was in Ruth Heller's Designs for Coloring, More Geometrics. And then in Spectacular Spring Scenes by George Tufexis, I did this page. And I remember I was sick when I colored this, or for part of the time anyway, because I really didn't feel, I felt like doing something, but I didn't feel like choosing my colors and everything. And I used Marco Raffine pencils on this, and they worked well. It came out a little bit pale, but I don't mind that. I think it's pretty anyway. Yeah, so, whoops, I keep bumping the camera up, sorry. Okay, that was in Spectacular Spring Scenes by George Tufexis. And then in Magical Mandalas by Alberta Hutchinson, I think I have 2 pages. Yeah, I have 2 pages flagged here. I did the first one, and I think, if I remember right, this was Pentel water-based markers, and then just white Posca dots for some embellishments. I like that one. And the second one was this page. And this was with paint pens in the middle. All of this is, I don't know, paint pens or paint markers. I'm not sure which. And then the outside is acrylic paint applied with a brush. And I think I might have, if I remember right, put a layer of gesso on first. Maybe. It doesn't really matter now. So, yeah. Those were in Magical Mandalas by Alberta Hutchinson. And then the next one is in Macaron's Sketchbook by Carla Magana. And this was my first page is here. And I did this lady. And I used alcohol markers, some sparkly gel pen. Oh yeah, you can see that in the hair there. Pencil for shading, and I think that was it. Can't see anything else. Yeah, but I like her. It was in Macaron's Sketchbook. And then I did a page in Color Me Wild. This is a color by number by Hope Little and this person. I can't really pronounce that, I don't think. And I did the Red Panda page. So it's cute, isn't it? I think it came out pretty cute. So I used pencils. I'm not sure what kind of pencils. Maybe Prismacolors in all likelihood. Because they work really well in this book. And then I used some black gel pen for the details, like in the eyes and nose. And I don't know if this was here or if I did that. Yeah, so that's my Red Panda in Color Me Wild. And then I did a page in Magic Dreamland. This is by Mei Zhang. And I did this page. This is called, see, it's very tiny writing. I have to look. The Jellyfish's Brainwaves is what it says right here. This book is pretty cool. Although I don't love the paper, I have to say. This is the first page that I've done. I remember kind of struggling with the pencil, trying to get it to lay down the way I wanted. I didn't look up what I used, what kind. Maybe I should. Jellyfish Brainwaves. Oh, it says I used Inktense somewhere. Chromaflow pencils. I used a silver metallic marker on the background. And a silver Prismacolor on top of that, I guess, trying to make it smooth. And then some white Posca, and I think there's a little bit of sparkly something somewhere. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, yeah, so I like it. It's not my favorite ever, but yeah, I don't know, it was a long time ago. I just remember that I kind of struggled with the pencil, but it's fine. So that was Magic Dreamland by Mei Zhang. And then I did a page in Enchanted by Marjorie Sarnat. And, oh yeah, this was just the little title page. And I was testing out some watercolors. And yeah, I just wanted to do it on this page. It's easier for me to use watercolors when the spaces are really small. So like that's just how I use them. Or that's what I prefer at any rate. So yeah, that's kind of why I chose this page, I think. But yeah, so it's watercolors. Let me see what kind. Doesn't really matter, but let's see if I can see. Oh, Sennelier watercolors. Yeah, I have just a little, like a little 8-color set because they're very expensive and very nice. But you can do quite a lot with them, actually. Yeah, so Sennelier watercolors and Black Widow pencils and clear Wink of Stella, like on the wings. But I don't think you can see it. It's very light. Yeah. So that was in Enchanted by Marjorie Sarnott. And then I did a page in A Million Little Monsters by Lulu Mayo. And I did this one. And I used water-based markers for the basing on the main picture. Pencils on top of that. Oh, I used clear Jelly Roll glaze, like on the eyes. All the eyes have this, that little sheen on them. That's cute. And then I used some acrylic paint, like watered down acrylic paint here to look like it's, you know, currents flowing. And then the background is Pan Pastel. Oh, my light went out. I hope it's not too dark. Pan Pastel applied with a little soft tool, like they look like eyeshadow applicators, but they work really well on pages like this. And then I fixed it with Golden Satin Glazing Liquid, which works nicely. It gives it this kind of like a suede feel and sort of that soft look. I really like the way that works. And then I think I used some white pencil around the edge just to give it like a little bit of a halo there. But yeah, so I like that one. That was in A Million Little Monsters by Lulu Mayo. And then this little magazine, The Art of Mandala. This is kind of one of my experimental books, or, you know, I don't care that much about it books, so I can test things out. And I did 2 in here over these 2 months. This one, I don't know if I was testing anything or if I just did it for fun or what. Let's see, what did I do on this one? Tombows, Crayola Super Tips, White Posca. Where is it? Oh, now I lost it. Yeah, anyway, pencil. So water-based markers, pencil, and White Posca, basically. And I used my little dot method again, all over. And I think that worked really nicely. And then the second page I did was this one. This was definitely testing something out, testing out a supply. So the cat was King Art gel crayons. Oh, right. Yeah, okay. So I used gel crayons for the cat, and then I went over and did all these little Zen doodly details with some paint markers. And then I did oil pastel, Paul Rubens oil pastel for the background. I was kind of playing with doing backgrounds with oil pastel, because I don't think I had done it before, or not very often. And then I sealed it with, I remember, yeah. So with the Paul Rubens oil pastels, they're very, very oily. And so I remember trying to seal it with golden satin glazing liquid, and I could still like feel the grease on the top of it. So then I tried, and I brought it out to show you because it worked really well. I used this. I used Duraclear glass varnish, which is a polyurethane glaze, and I used to use this a lot for polymer clay glazing, and I just thought I'd try it, and it actually works really well. Totally seals the oil pastel. There's no transfer afterward. It has this, kind of shiny look, but I don't mind that at all. So those 2 pages were in The Art of Mandala. And then the next one is in the Occult and Folklore Coloring Book by Duchess of Lore. And this is the first page I did in this book. I did this page. And I love how this one came out. I can't claim it really as my own completely because I went by her. Let's see if I can find it. I went by her version of, let me show you right there, that one. So I used the same colors and kind of tried to make it as similar to that as I could, because whoever color, I'm assuming it's these are her original paintings, I think, or artworks, and she did the line drawing for the book afterwards, but they're gorgeous. They're these really dark, for the most part, dark saturated colors that I don't generally go for, like these dark purples. They're really pretty. So I used Prismacolor. All I used was Prismacolor and a colorless blender to get that, really dark look. And it was a lot of work because that blending out everything takes a long time, but it was worth it, I think. I think it looks really nice. So that was in the Occult and Folklore Coloring Book by Duchess of Lore. And then in this little book, Mini Pusheen by Claire Belton. This is another one that's my experimental book most of the time. Either that or I just feel like doing something little. So I picked this up. And the pages are single-sided, so you can do whatever you want in here. And generally I write on the back like what I did with it. So with this page, I was playing with Daniel Smith watercolor ground and just seeing how it worked, basically. I think this was the first page that I did using it. And I used watercolors on the background, the blue. Oops, sorry, there's a car going by and it's getting very dark. Oh no, they're gonna park. Okay, I'm gonna bring this little lamp up closer so I have more light. Yeah, so the background is watercolor and the rest is water-based markers. And I think I applied it with a brush or blended it out with a brush with water. I wanted to see how that would work. And I tried to use pencils on top and they did not work very well. So pencils on top of Daniel Smith watercolor ground doesn't work very well in my experience. And then I put a little bit of glitter gel pen on the jewels. So that was my experiment there. And then this one was, yeah, okay, so this was King Art gel sticks used as paint, because I just wanted to see if you could do that. And I used my little eyeshadow applicator brush that, I don't have it with me to show you, but it's got very short bristles, so it's very kind of stiff but soft at the same time. So I use that with like, what do you call it? Jelly gouache. And that works really well. But anyway, yeah, so that's what this is. And then I used pencils on top. So yeah, it worked pretty well. And those were in Mini Pusheen by Claire Belton. And the next one is In Balance by Auntie Grace. This is the book that I am going through from front to back. And it's also sort of like my relaxation book where I don't really care that much about the colors. I mean, I try to make them look nice, but I don't think about it too much. And this is what happens when you do that. This page is not my favorite. I just don't like these colors together. It just didn't work out. So this is, I think it was Ultrafine Sharpies or something, or Bics maybe, or both. Yeah, not fond of this page. That was In Balance by Auntie Grace. And then In Psychedelic by Allie Plitt. This is a Amazon printed book. I did this page. Let me move this back a little bit. This crazy page, and this was with alcohol marker. I did a lot with this. I can see alcohol markers, pencil shading, white Posca in the background. There's stickles on the moon there. Let's see if I can show that. Yeah, there you go. Stickles on the moon and pearlescent glitter glue on the eyes, on the planets, and on the snow there. So this book is, you know, as you might think, like really weird, psychedelics, but it's fun because you can just do whatever you want, like crazy colors, just be as creative as you want to be. Yeah, so I like that a lot. That is Psychedelic by Allie Plitt. And then I did one page in Stained Glass Zen Doodle Color by Number by Deborah Muller. And I did this one. This was my first page in here. And because it has such big spaces, I wanted to try something creative in here. So I used, this is King Art gel sticks applied with one of the soft tools, the little, like I was talking about before. They're like, they look like makeup or like eyeshadow applicators, but they blend out the gel sticks really nicely, as long as you have enough gel stick on there. Otherwise they kind of will start to tear a little bit. But if you put enough product down, it works really, really well to blend them out. So I just, you know, try to blend some different colors together and get this see what kind of look I could achieve. And the rose turned out really nicely, I feel like that shading. This is all just gel stick. I didn't put any pencil on top or anything. In the camera, it looks slightly more washed out than it does in real life. Like, I can definitely see the differences in tone better with my eyes than through the camera. But you can still get the idea, I guess. So that was a fun project. And that was in Stained Glass Color by Number by Deborah Muller. And then the next one is in Color It Mandalas, Volume 1. And I did a page, did this page. And this was, ooh, let's see, what was it? I looked these up beforehand, but sometimes I forget what they were. Yeah, it looks like it was probably ultrafine Sharpies and Bics, and probably some pencil on top. Maybe gel pens in there, I'm not sure. But the background is gelatos, I know, because I was experimenting with using them sort of blended out on a page. And I used like one of the foam sponges that those sets of gelatos come with. They're like two different ones. I don't know if it was the softer one. I think it was the softer one that I used. It was a while ago, so I don't remember exactly, but yeah, it worked out pretty well, and I like the colors, like how it turned out. So that was my page in Color It Mandalas, Volume 1. And then I did a page in Maria Trolle's Universe. Did this page. Can I fit it all on camera? So this was with pencil. The main image is all pencil. It was, I think it was, yeah, Brut Funer. Where was it? Let me see. What's on the back of this? Brut Funer 520s. The huge, gigantic set of 520 Brut Funer oil pencils. So that's what this pencil is. And the background is Pan Pastel. Again, like I said before, applied with a little soft tool and then sealed with golden satin glazing liquid. I guess that was my thing during these couple months. I was doing a few of these Pan Pastel backgrounds. And then it says that I used Polychromos pencils on top to kind of smooth out the color, because I think it was a little bit patchy, or just maybe not as dark as I wanted or something. But yeah, and I remember that I went into it just wanting to do like a monochromatic or very limited palette page. And it's a very simple page. So yeah, it's okay. And that was in Maria Trolle's Universe. Oh, that truck went away, so now I have more light. Yay! Okay, and then the next one is in Stained Glass Patterns by Jade Summer. Ugh, this one. I don't like this one. It's just it's searing my eyes. I don't like this color of the background. Actually, I don't mind this part, but the background is just too bright. I guess I could go over it and cover that up. So this page is all King Art gel sticks and gelatos. So apparently I was experimenting a little bit with those at this time too. And I really like how this worked out. I can see, you know, I tried to blend them together to do some shading with them without using colored pencils. So that worked nicely. Oh, and then I did use a little bit of alcohol marker for these tiny little areas. But the background, yeah, ugh, don't like. So that was Stained Glass Patterns by Jade Summer. And oh, only a few more books to go. This one is Bird Life by Georgie Woolridge. And I did the hummingbird page. And I remember really enjoying this page and really liking how this came out. So the background is just a Crayola Super Tip. And then I went over it with pencil, I think. Hummingbird page. Crayola Super Tips. Yeah, I think I went over it with a Prismacolor. The bird and the flowers are Castle Art pencils. And then I used Hoo Hoo fine liners, some pearlescent glitter glue, like on the, I don't know if it'll show on the bird. And then I have glossy accents there on the eye. And I used some white Posca that turned blue, either that or it was blue paint pen, and a gold paint pen in the background to make it all magical. But when I did that, it was one of those paint pens from Michaels. They're called, I think it's like Craft Smart brand. When I applied it, it went through to the back, which was not an issue in this book, but you know, if it had been a double-sided book, it would have been a problem. So those pens kind of tend to be unreliable, I think, in that way. Sometimes they get really globby and then soak through, so no good. Yeah, so that was this page. Really like that one. And Bird Life by Georgie Woolridge. And then we have a page in Reptiloids 2. Who's the guy who does this? Vassal Psycho. And this was my first page in here. And I just did this little guy. Makes me laugh. And what did I use? Alcohol markers, pencil on top. And I think that's it. It was pretty simple. Yep. Reptiloids 2. And then in Bunno and Mousie's Kawaii Adventures, Color by Number, by, I don't know who, Alice Mills Publishing. I'm not sure who, I don't think it says who the illustrator was. But anyway, this is a super cute book. I wanted to get the non-color by number version, and I bought this by accident, but that's okay. I like color by number anyway. So I did this cute page and used a lot of pastels. I guess some of them are not really pastel, but yeah, so this is just alcohol marker. Yeah. Oh, there's, there's, I went by the colors. That was the color key. Yeah. So, yeah, let me bring it up a little because It's very cute. The details are tiny. And then I applied some white Posca or something just to give it. And I did a little bit of shading too, like with the markers in the sort of cute and cozy style. Yeah, a little bit. So that was in Bunno and Mousie's Kawaii Adventures. And then last page is in Jade Summer's Greatest Hits, 100 Best Coloring Pages. I did this one. And this is in Mandalas for Beginners. And in this page, I did, let me see, what was it? Background is acrylic paint, probably a purple. And then I put dragonfly glaze. Can you see that? Yeah. Dragonfly glaze over it, which I love. I just love that stuff. And then the mandala itself was, oh, it says Artex paint markers, Ohuhu paint pens, and then some pencils on top for shading. Yeah. Oh, okay. The background was an alcohol marker base with dragonfly glaze on top. I guess that's what it was. So I guess I used paint marker or paint pens, paint markers on the mandala. Okay. So yeah, I like that. I like how this came out. All right, so that's it for this one. This is part 3. Yeah, part 3 of my catch-up completed pages videos. And if you're still here, thanks so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying your coloring, and you know, I hope everything's going well for you in the rest of life, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.